There's a lot of things said in the church today that sound good but aren't true. One of those things that I hear often is that we're just sinners saved by grace. It sounds really good, but it's not biblical. See, God doesn't look at you, or nor does he call you, nor are you actually a sinner saved by grace today. Something happened on that cross. See, if you were only forgiven, then you would be a sinner saved by grace. Nothing would have changed about you, but the beauty of the cross is something actually happened to you. You became a new creation because you were crucified, buried, and raised as someone different, not the old sinner saved by grace, but now a saint, a holy one. That's literally what the word means. In fact, I'd go as far as this and say this about you. If you are in Jesus, you are the holiest person on the face of the earth. That sounds shocking, and it sounds hard for us to even utter and say those words sometimes, but yet it's the absolute truth. Why do I say it? Because, well, God says it. God calls you the temple of the Holy Spirit. Let me illustrate it to you this way. In the Old Testament, we have a famous story with Moses and a burning bush. See, God knew how to get Moses' attention. First, it was with fire. You set anything on fire and you got man's attention. And two, it was a fire that didn't consume itself. Now it's a curious fire. So of course Moses has got to go check it out and find out what's going on. And as he gets closer, suddenly the bush begins to speak to him and says, "Take off your shoes, this is holy ground." Well, what was so unique and special about that ground? What was so special about that bush? Was it the right kind of bush? Was it the right shape of bush? Did it have the right amount of fruit? Had it had just all kinds of fruit coming off? Like, what was so unique about the bush? Well, it was God was in the bush. It had nothing to do with the bush. You see, if God was in the bush a few feet to the left, and that would have been the holy ground. And if that bush was sick and dying and never once produced any fruit, it still would have been holy ground. In fact, it would have been the holiest place on the face of the earth in that moment. Well, where does God reside today? Today he resides in you and me. We are the temple of the Holy Spirit, where he lives. And therefore, if he lives inside of you, you are holy ground. See, your holiness is not a product of your behavior. It's not a product of what you do. It's not even a product of the doctrine you believe in. The holiness you possess is a product of who lives inside of you. And that makes you the holiest person on the face of the earth. Not a sinner saved by grace, a saint, a new creation, God's beloved. That's who you are.